So playing catch up a little bit still, earlier in the week we ended up getting an update for Call of Duty World War II. We ended up seeing that gave us a brand new division, which we detailed yesterday, gave us the DLC as well. And actually this update didn't really come out all that early compared to previous DLC updates that we ended up getting. Every title update that usually leads into that, there's a preload that's available about, say, 6 to 12 hours before the DLC actually goes live at the latest. And so in that sense, this was kind of weird because we didn't get the update until about 10:15 a.m. on Tuesday, so later than what the DLC was even scheduled for. A lot of you guys, including myself, may have even been able to go to the PlayStation Store for DLC, get that, and it would have said installed even though you never got the update, to which the DLC went live before the update did, so kind of creating a little bit of a strange shakedown on how things worked out. But that said, we talked about all the things the new division gave us and giving you guys a recap of that, but I want to talk to you guys today about some other awesome stuff that was added and changed via this update that some people may have already touched on a little bit, but I want to talk about a lot of other things that others may not have. So in that sense, we're going to be taking a look at a lot of different things here, but wanted to kind of recap this for you guys, kind of in place of our update video that we normally do with each update for World War II. So that said, let's just jump right into it. So the first thing that a lot of people are definitely pinpointing here at this is that there are new weapons that were added in as a result of this new update. Now, while we said the update itself gave us a brand new division, some new basic trainings, the DLC for PlayStation 4 users, 10 gigabytes across the board is a lot, but while on PlayStation 4, sure, it offers a brand new map pack, but Xbox One and PC don't have that just yet. How title updates work in this sense is that it's all that content all in one. There's probably not going to be a massive title update until well after DLC normally launches for Xbox One and PC, and potentially in World War II's case right now, since we're at the end of the life cycle, maybe not a major title update for a very long time to go. But that said, this update encompasses everything. We're talking DLC for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and PC when the time comes for that new division, those new basic trainings, and presumably what is going to be a new event with a new headquarters and new weapons and everything like that, all just timed differently for different releases. So in that sense, it's all one giant thing. That's why it was such a massive update. But in that, again, new weapons, including the Proto X1 SMG and the VMG 1927, were found already here for this via a couple of different ways. One being the paint job layering, which you can check out for yourself. That is something if you go over to the World War II tab and scroll all the way down, you'll end up seeing not only the new Commando Division and layers, but also the new AS-44 and the Proto X1 and VMG 1927 in those layers at the very bottom. Now, additionally, you could have checked it out in Wanderlust. I'm not entirely sure if this was patched. We've had a handful of different playlist updates throughout the last 24 to 36 hours, so you're within World War II, and as of checking it earlier this morning, I didn't get to see any of these in my playthroughs, either online or in private matches or offline private matches, so they might have patched this up in which it doesn't actually give these just yet, but it was something that as of recently, people were able to pick it up. And even as of yesterday, I found one in an online match, to which I picked up the new LMG, the VMG, for about 30 seconds or so. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to get a kill with it, so pre-release, I'm still 0 for 1 on this one, so maybe we get that average back up once the LMG actually launches. But the Proto X1 SMG and the VMG 1927 LMG have been added into the game and are probably just, again, timed releases with the next event. Now, other than that, we also end up seeing we have new variants for the AS-44 granted. This, of course, we ended up seeing the base and the predecessor given off of just regular view. You can check that in your creative class as is, but if you end up going into the paint jobs once again, and you go and select the variants you can choose from to make a paint job on the AS-44, you'll end up seeing 3 new variants: the Vaccine, Speed Demon, and the Bear 2 Heroic. Now these, honestly, I think all of them look great. If I were to put them in order, I'd say 3 is the Vaccine, 2 is the Speed Demon, and 1 is the Bear 2, because I'm all for the flashy red, the different cool color schemes, but the Bear 2, though it's just simply a polished wood finish plus gold plating, it looks so beautiful I can't even get over it. So in that sense, all 3 of these are absolutely fantastic, and again, I'd expect these to come with another event once again in the next week or 2 here within World War II, so when everything else launches, amidst that Proto X1 and the VMG, I'd expect these to come as well. And potentially we end up seeing one in collections, maybe one as a contract later on down the line. But as for right now, we don't exactly know where it's going to fall, but those were added in already. They're just not there in public view for the most part. Again, you can check these out in paint jobs if you want to. Outside of that, we get down to a little bit more technical stuff, some things that you might not necessarily look at not all that much to notice immediately, and some things that, of course, may actually make the gameplay a little bit better. So the first thing we're going to talk about are actually new class slots. What we had before this update was at the most 17 create a class slots that you could end up using. You had 5 at launch, then with each prestige you got 1, so 10 prestiges gave you 15, and then we also had 2 additional that gave us another one with the Resistance and Cavalry Division updates. But instead of just adding 1 more, making that number to 18, they actually added 3 more. So we now have 20 create a class slots if you're Master Prestige. Of course, if you're not, you still have a few of those missing depending on what prestige you are. Just sacrifice the number that you're missing from being max prestige out of that 20, and that's where you're at. But personally, I'm not complaining. I'm all for more class slots, especially with the absence of additional buyable slots like we've seen a few times in COD history. That's always something that I didn't really like COD points, but I'd pay the 200 or whatever, the $1, $2 it was, to buy some additional slots because it usually gave you like 10 times more the create a class slots. So in that sense, we ended up having 20 here overall. They gave us a few extra instead of just 1 additional one. Also, one thing to note though is that right now there actually seems to be a bug going through them that if you edit those 18, 19, and 20th class slots, in-game they'll still be default classes. So I don't know if that's something that's affecting all users. Personally, I didn't really go down and change any of them just yet, so I'll see if that happens with me, but some people have been saying over on Reddit and Twitter that that's actually a little bit of a bug right now. So you might experience it. I'm assuming there's going to be a fix coming if that is in fact the case. But outside of that, we end up seeing another update in the sense of gameplay changes. The Cavalry Division had a hit reg overhaul, to which a lot of people beforehand, before this update, were saying that they'd be hitting center mass on a player with Cavalry Division, but it would still register that they hit the shield. And this was something that personally, I didn't know if I really ever noticed. I kind of just went along with it. I thought my shots were missing or whatever. But now having seen this update, it definitely is a world of a difference in my opinion. Maybe you guys may still feel the same way, there needs to be some work done here for it, but it feels so much easier to kill people with cavalry now whenever you end up playing now compared to say 2-3 days ago. So I'm all for this. I don't know exactly what specifics they changed around, probably just tightening that hitbox to actually be the player and not the shield, but of course it is definitely nice to see it actually adjusted in some capacity, even just a little bit. But you'll definitely notice a difference here, I think, with this one. Getting into some smaller things you guys might notice, but you probably actually may have to look around for because they might not be on your regular to-do or to-check list. But the first thing here up on this list deals with the final contract spot out of who was Butcher but now Corporal Green again. This is now finally usable. For those of you guys that ended up having this, there was for the past couple of months the Winter Siege bribe as well as the Resistance bribes available for completing 35 games, I believe, here with that. But it would be something where you'd complete one, then you'd unlock the other. But if you completed both of them, well, then it was just a locked contract slot within the Quartermaster. So that's something that was finally taken out, and of course, if you guys didn't finish them, I didn't really care all that much for the Winter Siege items or the Resistance items at this point in the year to go back and do a completionist challenge to end up getting a bribe for those, so I never really did those, but whether you did them or not, it was something that they reverted back to being a regular contract again. So you're gonna end up having something you can actually use and do daily again instead of it just being a dead slot, essentially. After that, some other headquarters in reverts and things like that. Firstly, once again, talking about the headquarters, it's now the old HQ again with Corporal Green. It's reverted back to what was the launch headquarters, something that is the kind of stable mode with that one. Unfortunately, I am actually gonna really miss the Days of Summer headquarters. I really liked not only the beachy theme, but also just the sunnier. It was an upbeat type of deal. It felt good to be in the headquarters. And while of course the main headquarters is still relatively sunny, it's not anything that's super dark and overcast like the Blitzkrieg events headquarters or like the Attack of the Undead zombie infested nighttime map. This was something that was just a lot of fun to hang around with. I think that was probably my favorite headquarters that we've seen in the year so far, but it's now reverted back to once again that launch style headquarters. After that, the orders are actually normal again. We no longer have 3 to 4 daily complete X amount of games challenges to end up giving us a few bribes or whatever it may be, though admittedly the epic weapon bribes, I was all for those ones. I completed a few of those and I'm saving those until the new weapons drop, but I'd take one of those constantly even though I kind of hated grinding that much infected. I spent way too much time at the end of the event grinding out infected for those bribes, but that's something that those are now reverted back. We now have the armory credit orders and the supply drop orders again, so those of course are definitely nice to have if you're somebody like me that likes to stockpile armory credits or likes to get your supply drops ready for the next weapon drop. and doesn't want to spend anything on COD points. Now, the final thing that I will say is the green star bug is back in full effect in some places, one of which that's really bothering me is the reticles, and I don't know why I even came into the reticles. I don't usually ever use a red dot, but it is something. The green star is back here, and you'll notice once again going through your menus, that's probably going to be either fixed up or maybe it's left as a meme, because I know that that's something that's been adopted as a meme within World War II, but that's kind of where we're at here at this one. That's a lot of the big updates and changes that you may or may not have known about, and some features that were added in that still are hidden to public view in a relatively regular manner. While of course you still can circumnavigate some of that stuff, you're not really supposed to see those things yet. But that said, that's where we're gonna wrap it up. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Is there anything in particular you're looking forward to? Are you looking forward to the Proto X1? Are you looking forward to the VMG 1927? Are you looking forward to the new variants for the AS44? Whatever it is, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you guys are new to the channel as well, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding Call of Duty World War II content, updates, news, best class setups, tips, tricks, all that good stuff. We got you covered here up on the channel. So if any of that interests you, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter, that's the best place to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on Twitter. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. And also, if you guys want to follow me over on Instagram, a little more active over there, so that link is down there for you guys to check out if you want to. But totally up to you. With that said, hopefully you guys had a fantastic day. Thank you all so much for watching. Mine is an espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.